So it took a couple hours after the Patriots lost to the Miami Dolphins, but we now know their wild card opponent next weekend. It will be Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans, a guy who made some pretty big playoff memories back here at this stadium. He will return with a squad that has been very impressive in the second half of the season. I'm Alex Barth. He's Evan Lazar. This edition of Patriots Press Pass is brought to you by betonline.ag. For all of the NFL playoff action, make sure you visit betonline.ag and use the promo code CLNS50 when you sign up for a 50% welcome bonus. All right, Evan, there were three possibilities when the Patriots lost that game of who they could play wild card weekend. It was the
play
Steelers.
On wild card weekend. Can you believe we're saying that?
You know what? It's hit me in the last couple hours. Once there was an opponent, it did, but you're right. It was either going to be the Steelers, which wouldn't that have been interesting?
Yeah.
The Raiders, who you could argue they started the dynasty against them in 01 in Gruden. That would have been a story. But it's going to be Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans. How'd the Patriots do with this draw?
The Patriots have royally screwed themselves here.
Okay.
Not only did they cough up a bye on the field behind us against the Miami Dolphins at home in Week 17 and a deplorable loss. Just a loss you can't have, right? They did that to themselves, and now they're going to play Mike Vrabel, who literally lives inside Tom Brady's head at times.
Beat him last year.
And also inside of the head of Bill Belichick on both sides of the ball. This is a team that they had joint practices against in August. Extremely familiar with Mike Vrabel and the Titans, and Mike Vrabel and the Titans are equally familiar with the Patriots. And to boot, the Titans are red hot. They have a good defense. Ryan Tannehill is literally on fire, probably the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now. They have a great running game with Derrick Henry that we're going to talk about. This is a terrible matchup. It's a terrible situation that they've put themselves in, and they have only themselves to blame.
It's Evan that's screaming bloody murder for once in one of these videos. The Patriots have broken Evan Lazar, ladies and gentlemen.
You're right. This type of loss drives me absolutely
Although all good
batty.
points. I forgot about the joint practices. That's a very good point. But we got to start with the head coach, Mike Vrabel.
Sure.
Spent a number of years with the Patriots, with Bill Belichick, worked under Bill O'Brien in Houston, took over the Tennessee job, beat the Patriots last year. Now,
handily.
A different Titans team, different quarterback. But you remember down there in Tennessee, that was the loss where some people thought the Patriots season might have been over at that point. He's familiar. Like you just said, he's familiar with the Patriots. We saw what Brian Flores did tonight, a coach who's familiar with the Patriots, and what that did to them. Can Vrabel have the same effect? Well,
their defense has the players in the secondary to play man coverage against the Patriots. Malcolm Butler, Logan Ryan.
Some more guys who are familiar with
Jackson,
the system.
Kevin Byard playing center field there in the back end when they play post-safety coverages, things like that. And what they did last year was they put linebackers in the A-gaps, and they really force pressure up the middle on Brady, which obviously gives him problems, like it gives a lot of quarterbacks problems. We're not saying that they have no chance of winning this game. They obviously have a chance of winning the game. They're the Patriots, right? But they're going to have to play a real game on Wild Card Weekend. This is a true opponent that is hot right now. It is one of the hotter teams in the league. They have a scheme that they know how to deploy against the Patriots with coaches that are familiar with the Patriots. And Vrabel, obviously, he was very familiar with Brady, one of his best friends in his playing career. So this is as bad of a scenario as it gets. After this morning, we woke up thinking the Patriots are going to have a first-round bye. We'll see a divisional round weekend.
We get to enjoy New Year's.
Another home game for the Patriots in the divisional round. Now they go Vrabel and the Titans on Wild Card Weekend, and then potentially a trip to Kansas City looms after that.
Let's look at just the Titans. You just broke down a lot of defense, and again, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Think about that. I didn't even think about this. Here's something that hit me. Malcolm Butler is coming back to play a playoff game in Foxboro. That is alone an eye-grabbing headline.
Sure.
Let's talk about the other side of the football, though, real quick. You mentioned Ryan Tannehill. He's been red hot. He's been great in the second half. Totally different player than he was in Miami. But that Titans offense, it revolves around the running game. The reason Tannehill's so effective, the NFL's leading rusher, he cemented that tonight with 211 yards against, not a horrible defense in the Houston Texans. The Patriots have to figure out a way to stop the absolute monster that is Derrick Henry. Can they do it?
When I was down there at joint practices in August, I saw Derrick Henry working out on a side field because he wasn't actually practicing at that point in time. He was dealing with an injury. I saw him working out on the side field, and I saw him from afar, and I said, is that a defensive end?
He's a big
I
dude.
literally thought he was a defensive end, and then we walked closer to him, and I was like, oh my God, that's Derrick Henry. He is a massive running back, and what you mentioned, though, about it all running through the running game is really key, because what the Titans, excuse me,
Yes.
blank there.
Still hasn't hit you.
I almost called them the Dolphins because we're talking about Ryan Tannehill, right? What the Titans do more than any other team with Tannehill under center is play action. They are a huge play action team. They're going to run a lot of play action bootlegs and things of that nature to get Ryan Tannehill on the move outside the pocket and give him some big, wide open throwing lanes to throw the ball down the field. And they got two bookend receivers, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, big guys, big targets down the field. Davis obviously give Gilmore some problems in that matchup last year. So this is not an easy offense to match up against because they are pretty unconventional with the amount of play action that they do run. It's not Lamar Jackson RPO style, but it's more like bootleg play action with hard, heavy play action from under center.
And I mean, you talk about old school, right? We talked about that with the Ravens and how they throw it back to the 1960s. It's not quite that, but in a league where every team is going for smaller, quicker backs, you look at, hypothetically, if that to play Kansas City, a guy like Damian Williams, a guy in the Eagles, Boston Scott went off tonight, right? There aren't many big bruisers left in the league. There's Ezekiel Elliott, who's kind of not quite in that category in Dallas, but Derrick Henry is from a previous era. This is a guy that's, over 6 feet tall, 250 pounds. He's out there looking for contact. He's out there to run guys down. And the Patriots, they're not going to have that extra week of rest. Their secondary's been banged up. We saw some more tackling problems tonight between Patrick Chung, Jonathan Jones. They got to bring this guy down. Yeah,
they got to bring this guy down. They got to bring those receivers down, too, who are no small players either. A.J. Brown and Corey Davis are both big guys that can create after the catch, especially A.J. Brown is really gifted as a ball carrier. Listen, we are talking a lot of doomsday right now. It sounds like we're saying the season is over come this weekend. I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but this is going to be a real close game. This is going to come down to the wire. I'd be shocked if either team blows one of the other teams out in this
I guess what you're trying to say is we're used to the quote-unquote cupcake game.
The tomato can.
In the beginning of the playoffs.
No.
This is not a tomato can game.
And then if they continue the path, it's going to not be a tomato can game throughout the entire way.
We talked about last year potentially being one of their toughest runs to a Super Bowl. This would clearly top it. We will, though. We have to end on a positive note. Evan, let me put this disclaimer. I meant to do it at the beginning. I know you were hesitant to do this video because you haven't watched the Titans. I haven't seen much of the Titans this year. I really just watched their game live as it was happening this afternoon. So this is without the benefit of film study, but going back to last year, based on what you might have seen a bit of them this year, what is one area that the Patriots can attack?
I think they can run the football against Tennessee. If they're able to really get them into some more nickel and dime packages, get some of those big guys off the field for the Titans. And I also think going back to last year and some other previous years, attacking them with the running backs in the passing game. Their linebackers are not necessarily these great pass coverage guys. So if they're able to kind of get James White or Rex Burkhead matched up in some situations on linebackers, we talk about this every week. But if they can figure out ways to do that, I do think that this offense can move the ball a little bit against Tennessee. The offense against Miami wasn't deplorable. It wasn't horrible. They averaged over 6.5 yards per play. It wasn't terrible.
It was missed singular opportunities, not a bad complete
so
game.
They did move the ball against Miami. They just couldn't close it out on defense. So I think that they're going to have opportunities to move the ball again against Tennessee.
All right, we will see, of course, a big week coming up. We'll have you covered for all of it on clnsmedia.com and on Twitter at PatriotsCLNS. This special edition of Patriots Press Pass has been brought to you by betonline.ag. Visit their website, use the promo code CLNS50 for a 50% welcome bonus. For Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth from Gillette Stadium. Thanks for watching.